comic geeks and all the nerds in between. My name is Megan with Vigilante Vibes, and today I want to do another character breakdown. And it's a character who's a mutant, obviously, that I cannot believe I haven't talked about yet. I think she is fantastic, and I'm really excited for her solo series coming very soon from Marvel Comics. Today we're going to talk about Dani Moonstar. Dani Moonstar first appeared in Marvel graphic novel number 4 and was created by Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod. Danielle Moonstar, aka Mirage, is a Cheyenne mutant whose powers kicked in when she hit puberty. She suddenly found herself able to project realistic images of people's deepest fears, and she could not control it. The visions would pop up at the worst possible times, which pushed nearly everyone in her community away. The only people who stood by her were her parents, William and Peg Lone Star, and her grandfather, Black Eagle, who was both a tribal chief and a shaman. One night, Dani accidentally created a vision of her parents dying. Not long after, they disappeared on a mountain trip. She believed they'd been killed and started having nightmares about a demonic bear she thought was responsible. The truth was way worse. Her parents had actually been transformed into that demon bear, which also wanted to turn Dani into something like itself. Black Eagle's spells kept it from reaching her. After her parents vanished, Dani stayed with the family friends, the Roberts, since she was close to their son Pat. But during Sunday dinner one night, Pat said something that set her off. Dani lashed out physically, and images of his greatest fear and desire appeared in front of him and his family. Horrified, she ran off to the mountains in Sundance, Colorado, where Black Eagle raised her over the next few years. Trying to help her, Black Eagle contacted Professor Charles Xavier, an old army friend of Dani's father, asking him to train 15-year-old Dani to control her powers. Dani did not want to go. She was angry, grieving, and distrustful of white people. Which is, yeah, it's fair. In a burst of emotion, she accidentally created a vision of Black Eagle's foretold death. He insisted she leave with Xavier, and she finally agreed. Before Xavier could arrive, Black Eagle was murdered by agents of Donald Pierce of the Hellfire Club's Inner Circle, who was targeting mutants and planning a power grab against Sebastian Shaw. Dani did not know the full story at the time, but she swore revenge. Soon after, she was hunted by Pierce's people and saved by the mutant Karma and Professor Xavier. She agreed to train under Xavier, partly to get stronger and partly for revenge, which, you know, that's pretty fair. I mean, whatever motivates you. After helping Xavier and the other young mutants defeat Pierce, Dani became a founding member of the New Mutants. Even though she was hesitant at first, she stayed to honor her grandfather's wishes. She grew up especially close to Ron Sinclair, who is Wolfsbane, partly because they shared a psychic link when Ron was in full wolf form. Dani originally went by the codename Psyche, but later changed it to Mirage, which is such a better name. Even without flashy combat powers at first, Dani proved herself in a big way. She was the only one to pass the team's first Danger Room test. Over time, she learned to control her abilities and project more than just fears. After Karma left, Dani and Cannonball stepped up as the new team leaders. The New Mutants clashed with the Hellions at the Massachusetts Academy, run by the White Queen, Emma Frost, leading to a fierce rivalry. They were captured at one point but managed to escape. Around this time, with Black Eagle gone, the Demon Bear finally attacked Dani directly, nearly killing her outside of Xavier's mansion. The New Mutants fought in a surreal battle that took them to the Badlands. Magic, who is Ileana Rasputin, used her soul sword to break the spell on Dani's parents, turning them back into humans. Dani survived her injuries and fully recovered. Later, the Enchantress pulled the New Mutants to Asgard. There, Dani bonded with a winged horse that she named Brightwind and was chosen as a Valkyrie, gaining the ability to sense death. That role became a huge part of her life. Even after returning to Earth, Brightwind stayed with her. And I'm pretty sure it's Brightwind, not Brightwind. I don't know. It could go either way. But I think we'll survive this. When Professor X left Earth and Magneto took over the school, Dani's life only got more complicated, as it tends to do when Magneto's involved. She faced death itself in many different forms. She battled Mojo, and she competed against the Hellions. She developed a connection with James Proudstar, though things never fully worked out between them, but I liked them together. But it's fine. If you're interested in James Proudstar, aka Warpath, that is on my channel, if you want to know all about him. Or his brother John Proudstar, who is Thunderbird, whichever makes you happy. In Nova Roma, she was thrown into the High Evolutionary's depowering machine, but it backfired and actually expanded her abilities. She could now make her spirit images physically real, though at a cost. One mirage always had to exist. She manifested a spirit lance that she eventually turned into a necklace and kept the full truth of her new power secret from Magneto. After Cypher's death and growing tensions with Magneto, Dani and Cannonball led the team away. Eventually, the New Mutants evolved into X-Force. Dani later went undercover for S.H.I.E.L.D. inside the Mutant Liberation Front, even fighting her old teammates to maintain her cover while secretly feeding intel to Cable. She ultimately joined X-Force for real. Over the years, Dani gained and lost additional powers, including briefly manipulating quantum energy at a subatomic level. She split into alternate versions of herself during a dimensional crisis, later returning to normal. She quit X-Force when Pete Wisdom was brought in, which is fair. Spent time with the X-Men, went to college, and became a teacher at Xavier's school. She recruited new students and even became legal guardian to Josh Foley after his family abandoned him. After M-Day, Dani lost her powers and was sent home with the other depowered mutants. But even without powers, she kept fighting. She trained trauma for the 50-state initiative, stood up to Donald Pierce once again, and later regained her Valkyrie role through a deal with Hela. Dani battled demons, Asgardian threats, Orcus, countless enemies. She helped mutants suffering from Mpox. She fought later Mastermind in a psychic showdown in Los Angeles, and eventually joined the mutant nation of Krakoa. There, she used her abilities to help other mutants work through trauma, including Ron and Karma. She even participated in the Crucible to help resurrect Karma's brother, and later survived the Orcus attack at the Hellfire Gala, ending up in Vanaheim instead of the White Hot Room. There, she fought alongside Asgardian warriors like Thor and Sif before finally returning to Earth. Most recently, we saw her in the Age of Revelation event, where she was actually Captain America that was X years into the future, and I gotta say, I dug her in that role, so let's keep that in mind on how hard she knocked that out of the park. Shout out to the writers and everyone that made that happen. So through it all, Dani Moonstar has been a warrior, a teacher, a Valkyrie, a leader, and a survivor, constantly evolving, but always grounded in her Cheyenne roots and her fierce loyalty to her people. So that is Dani Moonstar. She's a fantastic character who gets better and better the more she goes on. And I'm really, really excited to see what her solo comic series entails. So if you want to check out what will be my review of it, head to nerdinitiative.com. If you want to follow me or subscribe so you don't miss anything else I put out, just click that subscribe button, or you can check literally anywhere else by searching Vigilante Vibes. So with that being said, y'all have a marvelous day.